So I finally finished NieR Automata, and I gotta say it's a really good game. I gotta recognize that this game blows it out of the park in so many ways, but it has some gameplay aspects and things with the story that did not completely convince me, and that's what I'm gonna talk today. I'm gonna say my thoughts because I have thoughts, a lot of them about this game, and yeah. Without further ado, let's start with the gameplay and the characters. So, Nier Automata takes place in a science fiction dystopian world where aliens come to Earth and unleash an army of robots, which kind of wipe out humanity, and the remaining survivors go to space in order to survive, with still some humans remaining on Earth. And the humans create an android military division called the Yorha, which are tasked to kind of like take the Earth back from the machines. And the Yorha work for the humans, and you take control of 2B and 9S, which are the main characters of this game. And yeah, so you're tasked with going to Earth, defeating machines, bosses, a lot of action, a lot of explosions. Super great action, I gotta say. This game is magnificent in so many ways, and the story, it's amazing. I gotta say the story and world building are great, but the way the story is told has some issues. The locations you visit in Nier Automata are absolutely amazing. They're beautiful. There are great scenes. Like there's a park, like an amusement park, kind of like a Disneyland, which you visit. There's a castle that's covered in vines and nature. It's taken over, like really the whole planet is taken over by nature, and it's just great to look at. There's so many. It's really diverse. It's an open world game that really shines in so many ways. The quests are good. And it was pretty fun, and the characters are also great. I really enjoyed 2B and 9S. They're really entertaining. Um, 2B is kind of like this stoic android who like does tries not to display emotions, but it also makes for a lot of funny interactions with 2B and other characters. And I have really no complaints with the world building and the story. I think everything is magnificent, and especially the score. I really enjoy the score in this game. It was beautiful in so many ways. Um, Especially during the fight scenes. Like when it's calm, the score is great. It's calm, it's beautiful, and in the fight scenes where it picks up the action, it's just amazing too. It's like super fast paced, and yeah, like whoever composed the score is it's so he's or she is so talented. So yeah. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the gameplay. It was pretty fun. I really enjoyed the dynamic, like the fighting kind of like mechanics it had. But I still have some criticisms. Like mainly, it felt too easy, like in the middle of the game, which is kind of funny because in the beginning, there are no save points for like the first hour of the game. So and it's actually really hard. Like if you play in normal difficulty, it's really hard, and if you lose like half an hour, you have to repeat the whole thing. So I don't know what that was. I was expecting actually at that point to. I was like, oh god, what did I get into? Like I thought it was gonna be like a Soulsborne type game, like yeah, that kind of BS where you have to die over and repeat long sections. I was like, oh no, this game is gonna take forever, but it actually becomes really easy after that. Like honestly, if you get a hold of a good weapon in the middle of, like in the beginning of the game, I chose like a spear and just upgraded. You're pretty much set for the whole thing. You just pack up a bunch of healing items and you're set. And it's kind of a shame because at hard difficulty, it becomes hard. Like two hits and you're done, and at easy it's basically a joke. So normal is kind of like the middle point, and I don't want to say becomes boring. It just becomes like non-challenging. And if you choose, like if you switch it to hard, then like you two hits and you die, and then you have to repeat like an hour long section of the game, so it's no fun that way. The enemies and bosses are great. I thought the bosses were super creative and super fun to fight. It shows a lot of really great, really written enemies, and there's some bosses that have like backstories behind them, and I'm pretty sure they're explained like with the other endings, which I'm gonna talk about right now. I'm gonna talk about the kind of like the ending system Nier Automata has, which I don't agree with. I don't think it's a great way to tell a story. So what am I talking about? So the game has like 26 endings I read, and I had the first one, the ending A, which is the one you get at the end of your first gameplay playthrough. So in order to get the other endings and enjoy the rest of the content of Nier Automata, you have to repeat hours of gameplay. Like not even changing things, just same thing to get a different ending, to unlock different characters, to see their backstories, get basically more content. And I think that's a horrifying way to tell your story, like a terrible. I just It's not my style. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not my style. I get that there's people who are like, "Oh, I love playing this game. I'm gonna do it over again because it's so good." But I'm the kind of person who wants to get out all of the content of the game in one playthrough. I don't think it's a good way to tell your story by repeating the same thing over and over for hours on end. But that's just my opinion. Like if people enjoy that, good for them. And honestly, I would play this game again. Like I'm not even kidding. I would love to go back and play like in a year or 2 years or so. But I don't think it's worth my time to play something that I already did play. So that's those are my thoughts, and I don't think I missed on much of the other content of the game you get by playing it over. I think I pretty much got the gist of the game, of the characters. So I'm just gonna leave it at that with gameplay A, and move on to other games. I'm gonna move on to Resident Evil 6, which I'm playing right now. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this experience. I think NieR is a great game, but I just thought that that one thing with the endings was really not good. So yeah, that's my opinion. But overall, it was great. The gameplay was fun. The story is absolutely great. The universe is outstanding. I would play another game in the franchise, to be honest. I think there's another NieR game coming out soon. So I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give it a 78 out of 100. I thought it was a good experience. If you're into JRPGs or, combat-based games, I recommend it. And that's all for today. See you guys later and have a great day. Have a great week, everybody.